Hi, I'm Bill Bradley. Join me for a recent excerpt of American Voices. But first, American Voices airs on Sunday morning, so we're curious how people spend their mornings. So we asked Sheila Bair, what do you do on Sunday mornings? Here's the former head of the FDIC, Sheila Bair.
Hi, this is Sheila Bair, and this is how I spend my Sunday mornings. I'm an early riser, so I'm usually up by 6 or so. My husband's even an earlier riser, so he's usually up already and has our Keurig machine fired up before I stumble out into the living room in my pajamas. And the first thing I do is grab a cup of coffee, add a healthy amount of milk too. We have beautiful water views from our living room. We're on the Sassafras River, which is an estuary off of the Chesapeake Bay. And so we're on a point of land. So we've got views of the sunrise and we also have views of the sunset. So I enjoy my first cup of coffee. I open up my iPad and start reading the news. Then, after I've gone through the headlines, I get up for my second cup of coffee, which is decaf. I allow myself one calf and one decaf, and I start doing the crosswords. So I do the Washington Post crossword and I do the New York Times crossword. And usually by that time, Scott and I are getting hungry. So we go to a local restaurant called Molly's. Weather's permitting, we'll take the dogs out for a walk. There are several roads that we have access to that are perfect for walking dogs. There's no traffic, a lot of pretty wooded areas. And we have 2 dogs. One, Coop, is a 3-year-old lab mix. He was a rescue. I think he's got some schnauzer in him too, because he's got a beard. It's very weird. He's kind of got the body of a lab, but he's got this beard. We call him a Labber Schnauzer. We often name our pets after historical figures. So Thatcher was named for Margaret Thatcher. And she's a puppy. She's only about 8 months old now. She's a breed. She was bred specially to resemble the dogs that the Native Americans hunted with, centuries ago. The Europeans got here, and so she's a beautiful dog. She looks like a wolf, but she's a mix of Malamute, Husky, and German Shepherd. One of our previous dogs was named Ludwig for King Ludwig, which was my son's choice. He actually wrote a school paper about Mad King Ludwig. And then Cromwell was one of our other dogs as well. So I don't know why. And I think that was Scott's choice, my husband's choice to name one of the dogs we had, Cromwell. And then I may pet her. I try to, keep my Sundays clear. So I may play the piano. I played a lot when I was young. And even though during my career I had a lot of demanding jobs and not always had access to a piano. So it was kind of off and on. But now I treated myself a few years ago and bought a Steinway because I've just always, I always wanted one. It was a huge splurge, but it was worth it because it's just so beautiful. Even when I mess up my fingering, it's the piano still makes it sound good. I mean, I'm not nearly as good as I used to be, but I still enjoy it. I sound good enough, and the more I'm getting better, now that I'm being able to play regularly now. So, it's good for mental acuity too. I'm at the age where you want to start using that brain as much as you can. And so, reading the music, following the notes, and it's enjoyable. And so, yeah, I'm not nearly as good as I used to be. And yeah, I make a lot of mistakes, but I don't really care because it's still fun. There's never been like a years long time period where I've not been able to play. At most, it would be a matter of months, and usually a couple times a week I've been able to play. And I think you need to accept the fact you're not, I guess there is some psychological burden in knowing you're not ever going to be, no matter how much you practice, you're probably never going to be as good as you once were. So I get that might be a reason to avoid old hobbies or old talents and skills. But I think, if you enjoyed them when you're young, you can still enjoy them when you're old. Now, I might play an hour on Sunday where during the week I might catch 15, 20 minutes here or there. So yeah, Sundays are for a longer period of time. Keeping that Sunday sacred is something special and something I'll always try to do.
This is Sheila sitting at my Steinway piano at our home on the eastern shore of Maryland. And I'm going to play a little piano piece for you. It's the Adagio from Mozart's Piano Sonata number 2. And just so you're sure that it's authentic and really me, not some professional recording, I will probably make just a couple of mistakes just to make sure of authenticity. Okay, so here I go.
That was Sheila Bair. She's the former head of the FDIC and the author of the picture books Shark Scam, Daisy Bubble, and Princess Persephone and the Money Wizards. Thank you for listening to American Voices here on my YouTube channel. For more interviews celebrating the goodness and creativity of the American people, click the subscribe button below.